Okay, so welcome to the Game and Stuff channel. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you the right way to replace batteries in your battery back cartridges. There are a few videos on this. I personally haven't seen one that does it this way, and through experimentation I found out how to do it the best way on my own, and I want to show you how to do it. Don't let the fact that this is a Super Famicom game throw you off. I'm using this because it's the only cart that I have that isn't modded, because once you learn how to do this, you may be doing it to all of your carts that have batteries. First, I'm going to go over the tools briefly. Some wire cutters are good, and strippers, your lead and rosin core solder, desoldering braid. These game bits, they're for the security bits that these cartridges use. There's two main sizes. I think one is like just get both of them. They're about $1 a piece on eBay. A CR2032 battery. Get these on eBay too. You can get them in bulk for pretty cheap. You know, like I end up paying about $1 or less a battery. If you go into the Radio Shack and buy this, you're gonna, I mean, they may want $4 or $5 a piece. This battery holder, catalog number 270009, this is the only thing that Radio Shack has competitively priced. These are about 99 cents. Get one of these too, and you'll see why in a minute. Now, the thing is, a lot of these videos have you trying to keep old parts from the cart and resolder them, and that's not really a good way to go, and I'll show you why as we get started. So the first thing you want to do is get your game bit. Now these batteries are typically good to go for, you know, anywhere up to 20 years, but as these things get old, especially the NES games, a lot of them are starting to wear out. Optional multimeter, just to make sure your connections are good and stuff. So once you've removed your screws, look at how the cart fits together with these tabs and just carefully pull it apart, and you'll see a circuit board in there, and there's your battery. Now what you want to pay close attention to here is where the positive and negative is. So the top of the battery is positive, so that means here's our positive post. So go ahead and begin by desoldering this. A lot of people have you trying to save the tabs or what have you. Forget it. We want to throw this whole thing away. And that's that. This can go in the trash. An alkaline battery you can put on a multimeter, and when it starts to lose its juice, the voltage will tend to drop. That's not the case with these. With these lithium batteries, they tend to maintain their voltage until they die. So you could check the battery one day and be at the 3+ volts, and the next day it's gone. So what I do as a matter of principle is whenever these come my way, I just replace them, because if I'm going to play the games, I don't want a surprise, and I have had surprises happen. So once you remove that, if you haven't, take your desoldering braid and go ahead and clean up these little holes. It'll make it easier for the next part of this. Make sure that the wire is shielded here, because you don't want, and you'll see why in a minute, you don't want any part of this wire that has a DC volt running through it to touch any of these other components here, which could mess it up. We're going to solder wires to this holder that then run to the spots on the battery. And the reason why we can't solder this right on top, because the case is not going to close. What you can do is begin by stripping some into wire and just cut this lead here. So you got just, you know, a few millimeters of wire there, so that you end up with something like this. So we're going to go ahead and insert the wire through these holes. We want to solder those in. So you should end up with something like that. Take your battery holder. These posts on the bottom, go ahead and very carefully bend them down, because we don't have much headroom for these things in here. Pay attention to which is the positive post on here, which is here, and put that on the positive post there. and the negative on the negative like this. We want to raise this up because, like I say, on top it's not going to close there. So at this point, we can go ahead and insert the battery. When you insert the battery, be very careful not to put it in backwards, or you're going to put a negative voltage through here and it may erase the save. Because sometimes you can switch the battery out and maintain your saves. It doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. And we're getting a good connection, 3.28 volts. So we know that power is going to the board from the battery. From here, go ahead and reinsert. And congratulations, you are done.